What happens when two of Hollywood's biggest stars clash live on national television? Viewers of The View found out in jaw-dropping fashion when Jennifer Lopez abruptly walked off set following a fiery and deeply personal exchange with guest co-host Gwyneth Paltrow. What started as a typical promotional interview quickly unraveled into one of the most explosive moments daytime TV has ever seen. Tensions were already high that Tuesday morning when Jennifer Lopez joined the panel. Everything seemed on track until Gwyneth, filling in as a co-host, steered the conversation down a sharply critical path. "I've been watching your career lately," Gwyneth began with a polished but patronizing tone, "and it seems like you're chasing trends instead of setting them." The studio fell silent. Jennifer, composed but clearly irritated, responded evenly, "I'm sorry, what exactly do you mean by that?" Gwyneth didn't hesitate. "Your recent music, acting choices, and business ventures all feel reactive. Like you're following the crowd instead of leading it." As the co-hosts exchanged nervous glances, Gwyneth continued, "Some of us in this industry have always valued artistic integrity over commercial appeal. That seems to be getting rarer, especially among performers from certain backgrounds." The tension was suddenly unbearable. Jennifer's jaw clenched. "Certain backgrounds?" she repeated. "Are you really going there?" "Oh no, not at all," Gwyneth said with faux innocence. "I'm just saying that some artists are drawn to more elevated forms of expression." Jennifer didn't let it slide. "You're sitting here judging authenticity, but your whole brand is built on selling overpriced nonsense to people who don't know better." As the exchange grew sharper, Gwyneth defended her lifestyle company Goop. "It's about empowering women and wellness," she said. Jennifer fired back, "You mean steaming private parts and selling energy stickers? That's not empowerment. That's pseudoscience wrapped in privilege." The back and forth intensified. Gwyneth accused Jennifer of trying too hard to stay relevant by dating younger men and releasing superficial music. Jennifer responded by calling out Gwyneth's privileged background. "You grew up in Hollywood royalty," Jennifer said. "Spielberg was your godfather. You got handed roles. Don't pretend you struggled the way I did." The insults cut deeper. Gwyneth criticized Jennifer's persona as a tough girl from the Bronx and suggested she lacked range. Jennifer, now visibly furious, snapped back, "At least my persona is real. Yours is manufactured, complete with a fake accent and a brand built on making women feel insecure." When Whoopi Goldberg tried to de-escalate, Gwyneth interrupted, "Jennifer, maybe you're just threatened by women who succeed through talent and intelligence, not other means." That crossed a line. Jennifer stood up. "Are you really implying what I think you are?" she asked, voice low and shaking. Gwyneth shrugged. "I'm just saying some careers are built on image, not merit." Jennifer wasn't having it. "You won an Oscar for a forgettable film and coasted ever since." "I've built multiple businesses, sold 70 million records, and earned every success through hard work." Still calm but clearly furious, Jennifer continued, "You've made a career off of Goop selling jade eggs and false health claims. You've been sued, criticized by medical professionals, and yet you stand here talking about integrity." Gwyneth snapped back, "At least I age gracefully. Watching you try to compete with younger women is honestly embarrassing." That was the breaking point. Jennifer's face went pale with rage. "You want to talk embarrassing? You couldn't even get divorced like a normal persona. You consciously uncoupled. You named your daughter Apple and act like that's profound. You wrote a cookbook about your breakup." Gwyneth shouted, "Don't bring my children into this." "You turned your divorce into content," Jennifer said. "Don't accuse me of exploiting anything." The studio fell into stunned silence. Some in the audience covered their mouths. The hosts were frozen. Even the camera operators hesitated. Jennifer continued, "You want to talk about authenticity and vulnerability? You've never been vulnerable a day in your life. You were born on third base and act like you hit a triple." The personal attacks were now full-blown. Gwyneth fired back, "And you've gotten by on looks and tabloid drama. You've never excelled at anything, or you just dabble in everything." Jennifer's voice dropped to a cold fury. "You sit in your ivory tower, looking down on the rest of us. But success isn't about privilege, it's about hard work, connection, and lifting others up. The co-hosts looked panicked. This was no longer a heated debate, it was a full-scale implosion. But Gwyneth wasn't done. "You're always so defensive," she said. "Maybe because deep down you know you're not on the same level as people like me." That was it. Jennifer stood again. "People like you? Spoiled, entitled elitists who think they're better than everyone else. Let me tell you something, a success is about respect, about lifting others up, not tearing them down." And then she said the word that stopped the show cold. "You're a people from certain backgrounds" comment. That wasn't subtle, that was a racist dog whistle. "And I'm not going to sit here and take it." Gwyneth, stunned, tried to backpedal. "I didn't say anything about ethnicity," Jennifer replied. "You didn't have to. We all know exactly what you meant." Whoopi tried again to break in, but Jennifer turned to her. "I'm sorry, but I'm not going to let her talk to me like I don't belong here. I've earned everything I have. I've broken barriers. I've built careers for myself and others. And I won't be disrespected by someone who's had everything handed to her." As Jennifer began to remove her microphone, she addressed the cameras directly. "To the viewers, I'm sorry you had to see this. You deserve better than this kind of toxic behavior. You deserve respect." Then, without another word, Jennifer Lopez walked off the set. The studio was in chaos. Gwyneth sat frozen. Producers scrambled behind the scenes. Social media lit up within minutes, hailing Jennifer as a hero for standing up to veiled racism, classism, and elitism. The clip went viral, sparking global debate. And as for Gwyneth Paltrow, her smug smile was long gone.